Hi, I'm Joanne Dicknair, Meemaw, with It's Storytime, Meemaw, an answered prayer for stories that point children to God on the Truth Network for Kids. Your chosen Truth Network podcast is starting in just a few seconds. Enjoy it, share it, but most of all, thank you for listening to the Truth Podcast Network.
This is the Truth Network.
Coming to you from an entrenched barricade deep in the heart of central North Carolina. Masculine Journey After Hours. A time to go deeper and be more transparent on the topic covered on this week's broadcast. So sit back and join us on this adventure. The Masculine Journey After Hours starts here now.
So there are episodes where it's good to be in an entrenched bunker. There's others that may not go so well.
Touche.
Which that'll all come into focus here for you shortly as we... So you just picture this with the clip that we may play here shortly, and if you were in an entrenched bunker, it wouldn't go well. But anyway...
it could be explosive.
Yeah, it really, really could. So we... in this episode, we've been talking about, right, the activities at boot camp. Not just, we have the talks, we have the covenant of silence. We've talked about that for years. But we have the Andy Airsoft experience. We have the Wayne Wildfire experience, the Brian Bass experience, and I know
Gaither's gun experience.
Gaither's gun experience, which even Harold has enjoyed the Gaither gun experience. So all those are things that go on at boot camp. But the one thing that we just haven't talked about in any episode, to my knowledge, ever, is the food, right? Andy, so you have a clip along these lines, right?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I mean, that's an activity that I definitely enjoy. People can attest to. And so, yeah. And you know, who's our Randall? Randall makes our food. Well, he does a good pot of beans, so let her rip, bruh. Wow.
So now you know why the entrenched bunkers are the best time.
I'm out of here.
We need some more ventilation.
Yeah, the bunkhouses can get a little interesting tonight.
Definitely mine. Sure. I close the door on my room, that's for sure.
That was the Wayne's Wildfire experience. It adds to the fire. You know, it's just
explosions.
But Harold, you had quite a statement about our president in this whole clip, right? So Harold, you know, we want to share, you know, what your feedback is there.
Those guys were suffering from the same disease that President Biden has. They can't stop Putin.
That was in really bad taste, but still funny. And so, you know, we like that. But anyway, the idea is if we're guys, right? And things happen that you know, that are make us real, right? That it makes us feel like we're having fun. This is not, right, your average Christian retreat by anybody's stretch of the imagination, and we don't want to lead you to believe these kind of things. But we know we're not totally gross, but we have some fun.
No, we don't sit around and do that, but sometimes we do. But you know, it's like the disciples, just because Jesus was there. You know, there was gas passed at the disciples' campfire. You know, I mean, it's
moving right along. The very best food is the Low Country broil.
Yeah, that's true. That is. We do need to talk. What is some of the other stuff we have? Ribs sometimes.
Ribs. He does good barbecue.
Even
burgers.
The hamburgers. Yeah. Oh yeah. And so the Low Country broil is always a highlight, and we've even had steak on occasion. So we never know.
Yeah.
You know what might be on tap.
But I was just kidding. We may get beans one time, but that's not the whole meal. So it's pretty safe.
So one of the things that I from the very first boot camp I came to, they played paintball, which later became airsoft. And so I'd never heard of airsoft before, right? These boot camps. And so the first time this happened is Andy, started the airsoft experience. We needed this understanding of the safety rules and all this. So we have this clip from South Park, which I would definitely recommend nobody ever watch that show. It's not good. But they do make a great airsoft clip, to give us a feel for what airsoft is about.
All right, airsofters, let's listen up. Before we let you onto the field, we need to run through our safety precautions.
Bruh. We know all the safety stuff.
Bruh. First, your airsoft guns must all have a red tip.
Bruh, we know.
Second, there is no full auto allowed on the field.
Bruh.
Third, there is a 500 FPS limit for your BBs.
Bruh. Can we play now?
If you're hit by a BB, raise your hand, say hit, and go back to respawn.
Yes already, yes. Go, 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 go. Come on, this way.
I got you, Cartman. You didn't get me. I totally got you. I heard it hit your jacket. Say hit and go back to respawn. You didn't hit me, Cal. The BBs bounce off and leave or something. Okay, hit. You got me. That was me. This is the greatest day of my life. Ow! Ow! Hit! Yes! Yes, that was so awesome! You guys are airsoft rules! This is hit! This is sweet!
So actually, you can kind of experience that, like, if you've been wanting to shoot Big Jim for a long time, and it could be the greatest day of your life. You just But I have noticed from time to time that you can hit some people, and you can watch the BBs bouncing off their jacket exactly like that, and it's like, man, I totally got you.
Absolutely. I've heard that conversation. As the judge of airsoft, definitely that happens.
It's really annoying when you get hit in the finger or something. Hit. Lousy shot, but you hit.
That was me giving the respawn rules.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. But anyway, believe it or not, there's something extremely redemptive here. So if you go out there, and for me, the first paintball game I played, I kept on getting shot by people I didn't see where the shots were coming from. And later on, as I was trying to discover my wound, right, I was like, that's interesting, because I know that if we take a look at how Satan's been attacking us, we could get an idea of what our glory is. And so when I heard my new name was Faithful, I thought, well, how would people attack me? Because you don't see where the shots are coming from the enemy. And the idea of that just really had gotten plastered in my mind based on the paintballs. And those things hurt, by the way, when they hit you. A lot more than an airsoft BB, although airsoft BBs, if they hit in the right place, hurt. But that's...
Like the head at 4 feet away?
Yeah, you did that one time, didn't you? But that was, part of the airsoft experience. But nonetheless, these things, because God is coming for you through the whole camp, and you're thinking about things because you're taking part in activities that you normally may not do, and then He comes for you in some really unique ways, and they're life-changing, right? Like, I can honestly say that my life is seriously different on the other side of these boot camp experiences, which have a lot to do with these activities. So some of these have to do with the competition, right, Rodney? And so you've got a little competition action for us.
Yeah, we've got Cheaper by the Dozen 2. This is the Murtaughs versus the Millers for the Cup. So you got the Murtaughs, who are the reigning champs of the Cup. Their kids get great grades. They're all incredible athletes, and they've got all the money. Dad's a big push, push the kids, push the kids. Well, the Millers are the more normal family again, but how normal are you with 12 kids? But you're sitting there, the Murtaughs are just drawing the Millers into the competition. The two dads are always talking about their families and who's doing what. And recently, the kids screwed up. That's kind of the start of this. And then you see the two dads kind of go at it. And next thing you know, it's, oh, man, he's agreed to go into the competition with the Cup. And what he does, he just tears his family apart. Tom Miller does, by just pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. Then he shows up. Only 2 of his kids go with him, the 2 twin boys. And it's like, oh, that's all you're going to show up with? And then all of a sudden, all the rest of the family finally, they realize, we're going to go support Dad. We're going to do this thing. And they all come together as a family. And it's great to see. I mean, that's kind of what happens out there at boot camp. We like to talk a bunch of trash, but yet we all come together. So that's fun.
You're just going to talk to her, Tom?
How I discipline my kids is none of your business.
You're not strict enough. Parenting isn't a popularity contest, Tom, but I guess if you knew that, your kids wouldn't be so undisciplined.
The only problem with my kids is that they're hanging out with your kids.
It wasn't my daughter who got caught stealing.
And it wasn't my son who trashed a tennis court.
Do you actually think I'm screwing up my kids, Baker?
Yeah. And one day they're gonna crack.
Well, why don't we test that theory? On Labor Day, Murtaugh versus Bakers for the Cup.
You're on. We'll see you there.
Honey, did you just agree to that competition thing in the Cup? And
yeah.
I guess the Labor Day Cup's gonna be a bloodbath.
Got that right.
All right, from now on, no seeing the Murtaughs, no talking to the Murtaughs, no thinking about the Murtaughs.
Can't we compete and still, see them?
No. Right now, I am not a father, I am a coach. And we're gonna be training twice a day, every day, starting outside in 10 minutes. This is our year!
Let's see what you got, Tom.
Okay. I know I've been a jerk all week, but that's old news.
Yeah!
Okay, now look, you gotta get loose. Don't let them intimidate you.
Yeah!
Yeah, each have a special talent. I want you to use it. Okay?
Yeah!
I don't care if we win or lose. I just want you to do your best. Okay.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop with the nicey-nice. Here's the game plan. We're gonna step on their throats and press down until they stop breathing.
Yeah! Finally, get focused and stay with the game plan.
Yeah. What would that be? What's the game
Okay, well,
plan?
we don't have a game plan, but you're just general.
Chin up, charge the mountain.
Yeah! Okay, break on 3.
1, 2, 6!
Well, Steve Martin is the jerk, so, I just know that it's really fun to have competition kind of spawn out of just having fun. And the best time that I had out there at any activity was when the one time we were able to shoot some skeet. And I had not had a shotgun in my hand for a long time. And, everybody was out there. It was a great time because we had a lot of fathers and sons get to do that together. Brothers got to compete with each other. And then the next thing you know...
Bro.
Yeah, bro. So the next thing you know, I'm stepping up because I was running the thrower. And then I stepped down and went to go shoot. And, I missed one. Then all of a sudden, somebody over my shoulder, kabang, gets it. I'm like, what the heck? Turn and it's Wayne. I'm like, bro, you want to go, huh? So then it was like, okay, who can get on it first? He was being nice at first and letting me just kind of let him get out there. And then he started shooting earlier. So I had to shoot earlier. And it was like, who could get on and get it busted really, really quick? And it was just one of those times where we just had a great time. And I tell you, that really brought a lot of guys together. It was really good to hear about the rest of the camp when the dads and the sons and the brothers were all talking and just had a great time.
Yeah. And so, one of the things that is really which that's part of the Gather Gun experience that you're talking about.
Yep.
And so it's a neat thing to watch a lot of folks that probably have never even shot a gun, right?
Yeah.
And so we have a little clip here for Wayne. For Harold, because originally, right? They had from what I understand, slingshots.
Ask David. Yeah.
You could throw a spear,
Rocks.
Yeah.
We had lots of rocks.
Rocks and bow and arrow, that kind of thing. But eventually, we got firearms, and you've had a chance. And so, am I right that you were in the military, so you got to shoot then, didn't you? Back, the War of 1812, something like that.
I was in the Alabama Air National Guard, and I went through Air Force basic training. We went to the rifle range twice. The first day without any ammunition, just to familiarize ourselves with the rifle, which was the M1 Garand. And we did what was referred to as dry fire.
Was it like this? Like I'm fixing to listen to this.
The deadliest weapon in the world is a Marine and his rifle. It is your killer instinct which must be harnessed if you expect to survive in combat. Your rifle is only a tool. It is a hard heart that kills. If your killer instincts are not clean and strong, you will hesitate at the moment of truth. You will not kill. You will become dead Marine. Because Marines are not allowed to die without permission. Do you maggots understand? Sir! Yes, sir! Outstanding, Private Pyle. I think we finally found something that you do well. Sir, yes, sir!
Well, I had a really good killer instinct. You wouldn't believe how I operated that teletype machine.
Yeah, I can't picture you with a hard heart.
So I fired 60 rounds out of that weapon, and out of my flight, which consisted of about 50 guys, I came in about third with accuracy. It's amazing how well you can learn to shoot if you grow up with a BB gun.
No, BB guns. Yes.
My Red Ryder BB gun with a lever action.
And it had a special stock too, didn't it? That's what I recall.
You'll shoot your eye out.
So you had a chance at the Gaither gun experience. Was the first time you shot since the Air Force?
Yeah. I had shot that rifle there at basic training, and Gaither was running the gun experience one day, and Gaither's a good friend of mine. He wanted me to shoot. Well, I didn't know much about shooting at all, but he gave me a handgun. I don't even remember what it was, but I hit the target. And so, I walked away proud.
Yeah, and that's just, Andy, for you, as I recall, like you had a shotgun that you had never shot, right?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked about that, because that was one of the things I wanted to share. So that story, Robbie came up. Like I said, I hadn't shot in years, and never had really shot a lot as a teenager and stuff. And it was a 20 gauge that my dad had given me. And like I've said on the radio, Robbie comes up, and me, the poser that I am, not knowing really what a poser is, but he was like, what is this? I was like, I don't know. Is it a Mossberg? I don't know. So I looked it up after. I still don't remember what the make was. But anyway, I did. I shot it. And what was really cool is, as some of you know, friends of the ministry, there's a guy by the name of Todd Clark. And we the first boot camp I went to, they were doing skeet then too. We don't always do skeet, but he was doing skeet, and he manned the throw the whole time. And I just remember that guy. I mean, Robbie had made his impression, but then Todd too. It was just like all these guys were coming around to just make things happen, and it just gave me a comfort level. But he sat there and pulled, skeet without shooting himself for hours, and I was like, this is just, I'd been around good people in church and stuff. It was just something that my heart needed. That, that was something that impressed me. And then Todd goes on and gives the talk about sonship, which really was something that took me a while to get to through the boot camps, but really made an impression on me. And it was just like, I don't know that God put those two together, but just a great guy, and just a great outreach to me at that boot camp.
So one of your favorite clips, that you picked out here, was another clip from River Runs Through It. So you want to set this up?
So I don't really remember this much from the movie, but I found the clip and I thought it was pretty good. What it is two brothers, and they're just picking back and forth about yeah, what bait to choose as they're fishing. And one of them just keeps harassing him, keeps asking him what kind of bait or whatever. They ended up kind of mouthing the answer. But it's just cool how they go back and forth, and it's a conversation you hear, down at the lake. Hey, what are you using? What are you catching stuff with? So.
What are they biting on? What? What are they biting on? Louder! I said, Bunyan bug! Want me to bring you one? No! I'll come and get it.
Bunyan bug, stonefly number 2. Thank you, O merciful professor of poetry and trout.
That's what we say to Robbie. Thank you, O merciful professor of poetry and trout. Yeah.
So the neat thing really is, from my perspective, boot camp is life, right? And it keeps going on. And so when I listen to that clip, I can't help but think that me and Andy, we had a real heck of a time. So we were down. He has a river that's right behind his house in Boone, and we were down there trying to catch fish in that river. Not a whole lot of luck. I caught a couple little bitty ones, and I thought, well, there's a trout farm, right up.
Go to where the trout are.
Well, we went to that other creek and had some success, but shoot, those things look like sardines to what we got into.
And so the neat thing is, if you go to the trout farm, they're going to give you a rod and reel with a worm and all that. We didn't do that, did we? We used a stonefly number 2, man. And you could really a blast because you could just watch those big monsters, going after that fly. And if you want some fly fishing fun with some friends, where you're going to catch fish.
Best trout dinner I've ever
Of course, it costs a little more by the pound than, they catch them out of the river. But it was a lot of fun. Yes, Wayne?
Do any of you guys feel left out? I didn't get invited to trout fish.
Oh, touche. You did, actually. You just didn't come.
And again, that's what I'm saying. From my standpoint, Rodney and I have gone dove hunting as a result, and all these different, and Danny's out there fly fishing. It's going on a heck of an adventure this year, right, Danny?
We may or may not get to go now, but we're still debating on it because of some other stuff. But talking about going out to Wyoming to fly fish.
Go.
And Andy has gone out to Utah, right? Mm-hmm. And he's flied, and all these things that are adventures that I saw spawn, out of things that really people, began to live these adventures. And don't miss this, that God is right there, and you can feel him in a real way on a trout stream. Like, I don't know how else that I've ever really experienced him like I have on a trout stream, because I remember one time that this deer came up while I was fishing, and it was right downwind of me, so it shouldn't have been a million years, and it sat there, and it just was like, yes, I'm here to talk to you. And I was just like, I knew it was God.
Yeah, and respawn, brah.
That wasn't worth leaving you with the microphone. Well, actually, during all of that, I forgot what I was going to say, but it was something to pick on Robbie. But one of the things about the admit, if I ever shoot anything, it's probably going to be a human being. But right now, there are no current plans. There aren't current plans for that, except for the next person. Season? The next person that says "brah" will be in season. Brah.
The challenge is accepted. You got one to finish up with Harold first before you get into that one.
So here's the reason why you can come to boot camp, and Jim likes to shoot people. I can tell you from personal experience. He has shot me on numerous occasions. But the other thing is I have, in fact, shot him and on numerous occasions at close range. And
yeah, I want to take this moment to apologize to all the men that I've shot on the porch in the past. Last year I shot a guy fairly close quarters, and I was like, I need to see what this feels like. So I put the gun to my arm and shot my wrist, and man, I had a welt for a good week and a half, 2 weeks.
It hurts.
It does.
It's real.
Yeah, Wayne's that guy.
So I almost use this clip from Wally World on vacation where John Candy's saying, "That's a BB gun, Clark, isn't it?" And he goes, "Yeah, but it can go right through the skin and cause a really bad infection." That's a wives' tale, Clark. No, it's not, and he shoots it. But let me just add that since I get a chance to do the core desires of a man's heart, that I've been known to tell a BB gun story or two that you don't want to miss out if you come to boot camp.
That's the activity you can't miss.
Did it just
It cut out, I think.
Skipper Wagner. That's all you need to know. Old Skipper.
So yeah, the whole idea is, right, that as we awaken our masculine hearts and we get a chance, because all men, that's part of the adventure of seeing if you have what it takes, seeing if you got a battle to fight, right? An adventure to live, a beauty to rescue. These are ways that we do this, while we're there. But the one of the other neat things about it, right, Danny, is it's in community.
Yeah, it's in community. It's really neat to just engage with everybody on different levels.
They're like my
Look,
dogs. Look, bro.
He deserved that one. Because of everything, like you just said, all those things, but it's also a brother to love. And that's what we're there to do, and we love on each other, and the wildfire experience usually gets that really rolling well.
And a brother to shoot, bro. So go to masculinejourney.org. You can register. We will be playing airsoft, and you can shoot Jim, and he is a very large target. So, just saying.
It doesn't move that fast either.
No, he doesn't. We want to see you there. It really will be a blast. Something you will probably never, ever forget. Thanks for listening.
One of my favorite things about boot camp, the favorite thing about boot camp is every time I go, I encounter God. And as anyone that has encountered God knows, generally speaking, it's nothing we expect. Real encounter with God out of the blue. He knew what I needed. I knew what I wanted, and those two were rarely the same thing.
Register today at masculinejourney.org.
This is the Truth Network.